So the first thing we're going to do is address the elephant in the room, and that's the Mandarin. In the days of the Mandarin's introduction, Marvel Comics wasn't concerned with being what we call racially sensitive, and created the Mandarin, using every negative Chinese stereotype that they can think of. But over the years, writers have turned the Mandarin into less of a stereotype and more of a character. And the Mandarin has become Iron Man's favorite villain. So when Ben Kingsley was cast, everyone was a little confused. As you can see, Ben Kingsley isn't Chinese. So let's address this first problem. Now I know, playing with a character that's known to be slightly offensive to a group of people can be off-putting, but I think this was cowardly of Kevin Feige. He should have embraced this controversy head-on and made the Mandarin as he should be. Not the 1960s Mandarin, but the more modern one from the comics. That being said, if you're going to make a change, this is a hell of a way to do it. Make the Mandarin a terrorist who draws inspiration from terrorists from all cultures, and whose name and appearance just adds to his mystery. And if you're not a fan of that idea, no problem, because it's all a ruse. The Mandarin was really an actor all along, played by Trevor Slattery. A diversion to distract the government from the real bad guy's plan. And I think it's brilliant if you're not going to have the balls to put the real Mandarin on the big screen. Creating this plot twist so that Marvel can have its cake and eat it too is, like I said, brilliant. Let me also address this, since a lot of people are confused. When Aldrich Killian says, "I am the Mandarin," he's not really saying he's the Mandarin. He's just saying he's to blame for the Mandarin. So if you're thinking that Aldrich Killian is the Mandarin, I mean the MCU's version of the Mandarin, no, just no. Now that the Mandarin is out of the way, let's move on to more important aspects of this film. Like how it's a great follow-up to the original Avengers movie. Iron Man 3 happens directly following the events of the Battle of New York. And we find Tony Stark dealing with the PTSD of flying through a wormhole and almost dying from a nuclear explosion in another part of the universe. I appreciate the hell out of this. Tony Stark isn't a soldier. He was just a billionaire playboy. And his first taste of trauma caused him to uproot his whole life and become a superhero. And now this new trauma has caused him to reevaluate the whole universe. So what's his solution? Make enough Iron Man suits to protect the whole world. It's an unrealistic dream, and Tony Stark is melting down because of it. And through the events of the story, Tony Stark finds peace, coming to the conclusion that the world doesn't need more Iron Man suits, because Tony will be able to solve any problem that the world faces. Because like he said, he is Iron Man. Iron Man 3 is a well-crafted, good story that has a cool style to it that sets it apart from the other Marvel films. And while there are a few dumb things, like Tony giving out his home address to terrorists, and then being surprised when they attack him. Tony, if you're going to threaten a terrorist, have a security protocol. And on a side note, what I didn't like was Tony Stark having his arc reactor surgically removed from his chest. I always saw the arc reactor in his chest as a symbol of what made him special, because the arc reactor allowed him and him alone to power the Iron Man suits. And I know that isn't true in the Marvel Universe, and everyone gets an Iron Man suit. But I thought Tony having a built-in power supply made him all the more special. Now he's just like everyone else, except for the genius billionaire part. But this really is a good film that sets itself apart from the other Iron Man movies and develops Tony Stark's character in a logical, positive way after the events of the Avengers movie. That is, until the next Avengers movie, where they reset Tony Stark's character so he can go through this character arc all over again.